can't keep that on long.
Yeah, I think in that suction thing is.
It's a whole lot of work for an hour. We're not gonna.
Crack open that bottle of wine. Grab your favorite glass, pour a couple of fingers of scotch in it. Get that stick, light it, and blow. It's time to hang with Steel Sharpened Steel After Dark.
Hello, Sharpies. You'll see we are in a slightly different configuration today, and by default, this is an after dark because Joy is literally in the dark in a van on the road to Miami. And so we are definitely keeping it a little less structured than we might normally otherwise be. Plus, this is a special edition. We are really all about the trauma and really kind of the Real Housewives of Fox News of it all with everything that's going on with them today.
If you combine Trump and drama, you get trauma.
You do. That is a fact.
That's sound mathematics right there.
And I actually saw some ambulance lights behind you or something. So let's be prayerful. Let's give traveling blessings to our good sister Joy. The braids, by the way, the blades are popping.
Thank you.
They be popping.
Try something new. Got to keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh. Mm-hmm. So fresh and so clean.
Exactly.
I would like to say before we get into the trauma drama that is Fox, have either of you seen Creed 3?
Yes.
All of us have.
Yes.
Are we all on the same page of the cinematic glory that is Creed 3?
It is a near perfect movie for me. I loved it. Loved everything about it. But I will say my takeaway from the whole movie is black men go to therapy.
Absolutely. Therapy is wonderful. I love it. I'm in it. They could use it, especially from the time that they were kids.
When you think about both Creed 2 and Creed 3, the denouement of both of those films had a surprisingly mature reconciliation between the male protagonists and antagonists of the film. Absolutely. I was not expecting, man, it was on me.
Yeah.
Right.
I chose to pull that gun. I put it on you, but it was really on me.
Right.
And you whooped my entire ass when I thought I was going to punch you to bits in the first round. You took me the distance and knocked me the fuck out. And so I realized in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have sucker punched you on the beach when I was living my high life and had that split level loft condo that I apparently bought on the proceeds of that fight that I engineered.
Hey, one fight comes with a lot of endorsements when you're the champ.
It does, except that somebody must have just picked him up to be his manager and fronted him some cash because as an unknown contender, the split was not even. It would have been even with Drago and old boy. Mm-hmm. But with this dude, he didn't get that luscious a cut.
20% top. Yeah.
Tops.
But
was
still,
no way.
20% of millions is still millions.
Absolutely, but you also don't get paid instantaneously.
No, it's not instantaneous.
It takes months for the
There's a
reconciliation of those monies and all that shit. Here you were. I mean, you had
creditors in the government still got to get
laying
paid.
on your couch in your split level condo 2
Right.
days after you were the fucking champ. I'm like, okay, but it's fine. It's a movie. It's great. Maybe it was her condo. I don't really care because his beach party was decidedly low rent.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't
That
it a
was-
trash can fire?
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
That was basically the homies from around the way coming out to the beach.
I mean, yes. Lisa, Tamika, Angela, and Renee, you the homies from around
From
the way.
around the way. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was. I really, really enjoyed this movie, and some of the people that I podcast with on popular culture were like, you know, where was Rocky? Where was Rocky? I'm like, Rocky has had 8 bites at this apple, y'all.
No, and I'll do you one further. Rocky was over there in the corner feeling pissy. Like, he had an opportunity to be involved in this, and he thought that he could flex at the age of 104 and say, you know, if I'm not in it, it's not going to be great. And then it comes out, and it's honestly better for you not being there. What was he going to add, really?
What is that what happened?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone was feeling some type of way about the shit.
Yeah.
And didn't want to be involved with the project. All right, motherfucker.
Bye, bye. Oh, no, bye. Look, you had cancer in the first one, asshole.
Right.
You were being written out.
Well, he had it.
Rocky had
cancer. Diagnosed it in the second one is where they dealt with it, and that was pretty much the end of his arc at that point. Because
and they didn't say whether he died or not, which I thought was pretty respectful.
They didn't even mention him. They didn't even mention him at all.
You could always bring an unmentioned person back.
Yep.
If you had shown a gravestone, you can't bring him back unless it's The Last of Us.
But considering where Adonis was in this film at the start of it, you know, it begins with literally his last fight.
Yeah, he's
so there's
chilling.
There's no need for the Rocky Balboa character anymore.
There isn't. He been done
He's
retired.
transitioned into management.
First of all, your wife is Tessa Thompson. You got to learn ASL.
Yep.
She's basically, I don't know, she's supposed to be her, but I don't know what the deal is, but you're super rich. You have the flossiest fucking house in Los Angeles as far as I'm concerned. You're married to her and you have to learn ASL for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need, you gotta do better.
Oh, God.
Hey, yo.
Go be a Tulsa King.
Right.
Yeah, no. He doesn't need all stroked out Balboa and shit.
You can change. I can change.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually like that part of Rocky 4, whatever it was.
Anyway, you know what we got instead of a barely literate Stallone? We got Jonathan Majors acting his Yale ass off, or wherever the hell it is he went to school. Acting.
He was an actor. I loved it. I love that I hated him in that movie. I was like, ooh, you ain't shit. Like 5 times in that movie, ooh, you ain't shit. I hate you.
And let's be clear. Here's another thing that people are sleeping on Jonathan Majors. Somebody was talking about Jonathan Majors is the next Denzel Washington. People are like, that man ain't even in the grave. I said, no, he's not in the grave. He's been in a Waffle House for the past 3 years. God. Denzel Washington is not a leading man anymore.
No.
He is not. No. And so it's fine. Meanwhile, Jonathan Majors has the #1 and #2 movies in the country right now.
Speak on that.
True.
When was the last time you remember anybody? Tom Hanks ain't do that. #1 and #2. This is his 3rd studio release in 6 months. And one of those was an MCU film.
And I'm telling you right now, Magazine Dreams, going to see it.
First of all, if Michael Jordan and Jonathan Majors showed up somewhere in LA and took their shirts off, it would be like Armageddon.
Pandemonium.
The tweets would go out and it'd be like, it'd be people from Miami being in traffic trying to get to the beach to see them 2 dudes. They are like a locust of even with those pictures, and let me just tell you something. I'm gonna go full screen on this one.
Mm.
Y'all are super weird for feeling a way about Jonathan Majors and his buddy who starred in this film together about male relationships becoming reconciled in a way that is them not punching each other in the face. There is nothing wrong with those pictures. There's nothing wrong with them. And you are man, that's gay. Michael Jordan just got out of a relationship with Lori Harvey. His new piece is hotter than any of you, quote unquote, photep, alpha, beta, gamma, delta males is ever going to be with. And Jonathan Majors could throw a shoe and get any woman it hit to come be with him.
Please understand. I need to be on screen so people can see the sincerity in my face. Please understand that shoe that Jonathan, I would catch it in my teeth, roll over and expose my belly for rubs. So wait, we were playing Murder, Death, Kill in the car. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm in a van with my friends. We're headed down to Jazz in the Gardens in Miami, and one of my friends' boyfriends is driving, and so we're playing Marry, Kill. Yes, F word. Marry, Kill, Entangle.
Philander.
Yes. Philander. There you go.
Philander. Okay, fine.
And I was like, one of the choices was Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Majors, and the dude Aldous Hodges, right?
Oh, Aldous Hodges.
And so that's how we missed it. We were talking about all this kind of stuff, and I was like, for me, and I'm just being dead serious, Jonathan Majors is a butterface for me. Like, I'm not really feeling the neck up. Like, that's somebody I would pass and be like, "What up, bro? Good luck to your life." But neck down. So I actually killed Jonathan Majors, and I found out the truth that I wanted to know about Michael B. Jordan, and I married Aldous Hodges because I like him skinny, right? Skinnier. But I saw the cover of the work that Jonathan Majors has been doing for Magazine Dreams.
Maybe you could just kill his face.
Right. Maybe I could bang him to death. Death through sex.
Oh, Lord. Death through Snoo Snoo?
You will dehydrate really? Eventually.
Is that what we doing? Death by Snoo Snoo?
Like that. What's that soca song? What's the soca song? Sit on my face. If I die, I die.
So I did not intend this to become.
I mean, you steered it that way.
I did. I apologize.
You don't.
I definitely steered it that way for sure.
Yes.
And
I'm sorry, did I derail the conversation?
Well, no, you didn't. But I will just say, y'all have seen these pre-buff Jonathan Majors pictures, right?
Yes.
Why are you bringing up old shit? Don't matter.
Like around Lovecraft Country and everything?
No. Pre-Lovecraft Country. No. I'm talking about when he was on his Stephen Urkel phase.
Oh.
Like, for real. That dude.
I have the picture.
I have the picture too, but I'm not trying to do that to the brother. I'm just saying his nose was wider than his shoulders in these
God damn.
As one of my good friends from college always say,
and his hands are all tucked in his pocket. There is. I'm just saying, the brother got into a gym. That's motivation. Because if he can bulk up that much, I can lose these 40 pounds.
Right?
Sure.
Right? Why am I still fat?
Listen.
But
I was looking at. I said, does anybody know Jonathan Majors' trainer? And it just so happens that I know some people who actually dropped his name in the damn chat. And I was like, y'all think I got a Jonathan Majors fucking workout budget? The fuck? I was being rhetorical.
Right.
You motherfuckers dropping his goddamn DMs for me. I'm like,
forget the budget. Do you have the time to work out like that, sir?
I mean, what? I got 7 hours? What the fuck are you saying? Man. Listen,
where do you even find a tire that big to flip over for?
Almost any gym. Almost.
Tires be us.
But not a national chain gym.
No.
Like a local.
That's the private gym where he charges you $80,000 a year and he's got 6 clients. That's what that gym is.
Yeah.
So at any rate, let's get into it. It was go see Creed 3. Go see Creed 3.
I also versus Kang was awesome.
Who?
Killmonger versus Kang.
Oh, yes. And you got 3 MCU people in that damn movie.
4.
Who's the 4th one?
Dude who played Drago was in Shang-Chi.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Laser Fist or whatever.
Yeah, Laser Fist.
Ah, fuck him.
Yeah,
you're right, though. I mean, technically, you're right. We're never going to see him again, not even in Shang-Chi 2, and they've just announced the entire slate, like, through 2027. But let's kind of get to it. I also saw Women Talking. Did you see that, Joy?
Wait, did I see what?
Women Talking.
No.
It's a tough watch because it's a really monstrous kind of premise. It's kind of like Handmaid's Tale and Lysistrata and Be Sweet, that movie, that documentary about the fundamentalist, crazy people. It's a lot, but it's quiet and it's kind of stark in its beauty. But it's a rough watch, but it's worth watching.
Okay.
It's streaming for free now on a bunch of stuff.
I'll tell you what I did see on the plane on the way down here, because I flew into Orlando. We rode down, but okay. And to all my friends in Orlando that see this, sorry I didn't tell you I was there. Bye. I'll see you later. But On the Come Up was on the plane, and
what is that?
On the Come Up, it's a story about like a young girl who's trying to get into the rap game. She does.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Sanaa Lathan is in it, and she directed it. And
is that the one with Method Man in it?
Method Man is in it, looking scrumdiddly-umptious.
Y'all and
another one that was on our MFK thing. Say what?
I'm sure. I said y'all and Method Man. It's never going away. All the rest of them dudes from that rap era are like, what is Meth doing? Not meth. He's clearly not doing meth.
Right. But I will say, like, aside from the fact that he looked gorgeous in it, he was not the star of the movie. Like, he's in a supporting role. And the young girl who's she's an ingenue actress. She carried that movie. Like, she did a really good job. I found myself getting like emotional towards the end and like, oh, she's being true to herself. It was a good movie.
Okay.
It was like I encourage you, if you know, hang on. The cops is coming through. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You just keeping it real. Oh wow, you can see the little flicker.
Right. Please don't get pulled over.
Yeah. To the accident, because Florida people can't drive worth a damn, and anybody from Florida knows can just go yup. Yeah. But it was a really good movie, and I encourage you, if you know where it is, if you see it on the come up, watch it. It's definitely, if you fly it on Delta, you'll find it, but it's probably on Netflix or Showtime or something.
It's got to be streaming somewhere. So while we're on the subject of people on the come up, George Santos now under investigation by House Ethics Panel. This has been a long time coming for our good friend George Anthony Santos.
And it shouldn't have taken this long.
It really shouldn't have, but let's to be fair, he was just seated 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And so, according to Washington standards, this is like warp factor 10. So he's going to be investigated. Also coming out this week about Mr. Santos Devalder is that his erstwhile roommate claims that Santos taught him how to skim credit card numbers with a reader.
Is this the same roommate that he stole the scarf
from? The Burberry scarf from? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Oh. Maybe he stole the Burberry scarf and said, I can get you another Burberry scarf if you skim this number off of this person's credit card.
So I'm going to choose to believe that.
It's not looking great for George. He has literally had GOP members from his home state call for him to be removed. And so it's really not super excellent for him. It really, really is not.
Wait, brother, you were trying to jump in.
I was about to say, go ahead, Shane.
At this point, he'd been better off like having a fake marriage and committing adultery.
Ooh.
Yeah, a polygamist. Yeah, he'd have been better off. You could at least say other people are doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Because, who in the GOP doesn't have a wife and a mistress that everybody knows about?
Right.
Lindsey Graham.
Oh, he has a Mr. though, huh?
He ain't got no
They all
wife.
got somebody.
That's
Male,
true.
female, somewhere in between. They all got somebody.
There's a lid for every pot.
Right?
He just left a taste in my mouth, like, ugh.
Well, speaking of tastes in people's mouths, a judge has denied Donald Trump's attempt to block the Access Hollywood tape from his defamation trial. So we know that Jean Carroll is suing Trump for defamation and technically sexual assault, although the statute of limitations made that dicier, so she rode on the defamation thing.
Yeah.
So a couple of things have happened since we last discussed this. First of all, Trump has been asked to submit a DNA sample. Yeah, I heard somebody in your car say, ooh. so yes, there's that. Also, he did not want the Access Hollywood tapes to be included in his trial. His lawyers are saying, oh, it's immaterial, doesn't have anything to do with nothing. Why are you going to put the tapes in? Da, 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 da. And Jean Carroll's lawyers were like, well, I mean, it does kind of establish the state of mind of a person who got on television to say he can grab women and they can't do anything because
we all heard him say it. The pussy hats were created because of that.
He can't help himself. He's just drawn to them. He moves on them like a bee. You know, this is, I mean,
and when you're rich, they let you do it. They let you do anything, grab anything, all of that.
And she's not his type, except he thought she was Marla Maples in a photo that he was shown during a deposition. So that's on tape too. And they're allowing the testimony of two other accusers.
Nice.
Who accused him of, one accused him of fondling her breast, and another accused him of some other untoward attentions. And so here you go, Donald Trump not having the best week as it pertains to lawsuits. Because
so I got one question.
Absolutely.
We still ain't get his tax returns. How are they going to get a DNA sample?
Well,
all they got to do is talk to his daughter.
They do have the tax returns. They just haven't released. No, wait, what did you say?
All they got to do is talk to his daughter. I'm sure she has some hair brushes or something. That's all I meant. What did you think I meant?
Oh, no, there's plenty of hair floating around. Got to be. I don't know how many of them follicles done jumped ship. Like, but it's there. The tax returns are in hand.
Okay.
It's just that now that the Republicans are in control, they're probably not going to be released to the public. But they don't. The Congress isn't the team that needs the tax returns as much as the AG's office does, and so, that's.
My driver over here said that J6 released those tax returns. He's like, I got it on my phone. Yes, my driver. I said, you're driving.
Okay, I'll let that slide.
The look he gave me was like, bitch, what?
I mean, you are driving.
I mean,
J6 released those prior to the turnover. So I think it was like January 1st or the very end of December, a few days prior to the
but did they release them to the public?
Yes, they did.
He said he's got it on his phone.
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay. So, you know what? I do recall that because it was millions and millions of pages, and the speculation was that nobody was going to be able to make hide nor hair
details out of it. Yeah.
But so they are out there, and that is important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that there are Trump charges coming.
Can I keep it on?
On the Stormy Daniels allegations. Ooh. And Michael Cohen is being called to testify again about the hush money to Stormy Daniels. So
wow.
This is $130,000. And Trump is trying to say, they keep using the term witch hunt. They keep using the term witch hunt.
It's not a witch hunt if you're a witch. It's just a hunt.
It's just a hunt.
Right.
And I know the spirit of Tituba is like, don't be calling this a witch hunt. Let him do his own thing. I actually was hunted. They burnted me. Let him do his own thing. Banana court, kangaroo court, whatever you want to say. Anything orange. But it's not a witch hunt.
No, it's not.
They're just investigating you because you're scandalous as hell, and and that's what it comes down to. So we have come to the point in the show where we are going to talk about the big story, and the big story this week, man, oh man, a Shevitz. Them people over there at Fox are having a time.
They had a time last night. Yes.
They had a time last night.
Wasn't a good one.
Or last year. Or last 2 years. And
since their existence, actually.
Well, pretty much. But
this is a collective fuck around and find out. That's what's happening.
They're finally finding out.
And can it be said enough that the person who is doing the most fucking around and finding out is the owner of the network, Rupert Murdoch? How are you putting your network on blast like that when you're being sued for $1.6 billion? And like, yeah, we shouldn't have been said in that shit. We shouldn't have said that, probably, because we was lying. Oh, did I say that in an affidavit that we were? I didn't mean that we were lying. I mean, I just meant we weren't telling the truth and we knew it with malice.
They wrote that down. They got that. Yeah. They got that on recording.
You were recording?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that red dot means?
Wait, this mic is live?
Right.
Fuck it, I'll do it live. Do it live. As their famous superstar Bill O'Reilly once said, it's not looking great for the Fox network. It has led to questions of why hasn't Fox settled with Dominion? Now, I'm going to put it to you, James, and then you, Joy. If you were the head of Fox and all of these texts were coming out about things your commentators, your news personnel, all these things going back and forth between members of the Republican Party, incontrovertible evidence that you knew you were lying and you knew the election wasn't stolen, what would prevent you from settling with Dominion? Because they got you. They got you.
Yeah, see, me personally, I'd settle. But they apparently want to die with the lie. And if that's the course of action they want to take, then hell, ride this ship like the Titanic to the iceberg and to the bottom of the Atlantic, as far as I'm concerned. But settle. Because there's no way to make this quietly go away. It's out there. Everybody knows. We've known for years. This isn't the first time they've been sued for defamation or spewing lies. I believe several years back, they had to contend that they weren't exactly full-on news, but entertainment with news added in to get around one lawsuit. So here you are in a situation that is infinitely multiple times worse than the previous accusation, and just settle. It's going to be less to settle than the verdict that's going to come out not in your favor anyway.
Now, that's where I would like to jump in. I think that they're not settling out of arrogance. I think that they think they've got that same Teflon that Don has, and they don't.
But you ain't Don.
Very much don't. An individual who we all know is an individual that we all know is crazy is different from a news entity that is governed by the FCC, et cetera, et cetera. You can't just be out here talking slick in the mouth and saying whatever and think you're going to get away with it. I think that they really believe it'll be okay. And if they just hang out long enough, people will forget about it. It'll die down, blah, blah, blah. It will not.
I guess I could somewhat go with that premise, although I'm not sure that their audience really cares one way or the other.
They don't.
Now, I take James' position that Murdoch et al. Are playing, to the icebergs, to the fjords, to the chair gets off his board. It might happen that way, that they might be able to shoot off skeet into the distance and maintain something, but they are taking hits.
You really played that all the way out.
I did. mean, so it seems to me that there is a portion of the audience that is always going to take the spin. Even though they have backed off talking about Dominion, you got Donald Trump Jr. saying, why are they quashing this Tucker Carlson report? Because they aren't really supposed to be talking about it. Because Tucker Carlson this week was among the people who had his private text put out there. And he went on a full-on rant talking about how much he hates Trump and how he doesn't like having to carry water for him. And yet he's still on air now talking about how these people were not rioters, they're tourists, they're just kicking it, they're,
a demonstration gone wrong.
Anybody can go through 44,000 hours of footage and pull 20 minutes of anodyne bullshit. They were tired after breaking all those windows. They had to get some juice boxes and some orange slices to rehydrate. So they were just chilling for a minute. They didn't know where they were going, but they violently broke into the Capitol. And by the way, that's not a day when people are invited to be in the Capitol. I know it's the people's house and all that,
Exactly.
but not on that day.
And didn't they take a dump on Pelosi's desk?
They did. Someone took a dump on her desk.
And they smeared feces, not only in her space, on the walls. And you're just nasty. Did you have any wipes?
I just think about...
You just walk around with doo-doo on your hand through the rest of the Capitol?
No, I just think about all the times that racist people have tried to compare Black people to monkeys. And by the way, do yourself a favor and Google Paul Mooney monkey joke. So you can hear him say, take a good look at a monkey and see what it really looks like. Thin lips, super hairy, shave it, and it's white. It was a really good bit, but monkeys throw shit. I've never seen Black people in the United States throw shit at people. Like that ain't what we do. And so
unless you're Chris Rock at a Netflix special.
Can we save that till next week?
We can. I'm just saying.
For all the vitriol that Tucker Carlson tries to throw under the table at Trump, like you said, he did a good job caping for him in front of a camera. They all did. They all have. All the text messages have pretty much come out in one way or another. And they want to claim, well, this is all out of context. No, you all texted to each other and Rupert Murdoch. He's insane. This dude is crazy. This should have never happened. All this coming up to 48 hours before the events of January 6th. Mind you, something that was carried live on every newscast around the country, both national and local, as it was happening, except Fox News. They just went on with some other spin about how the Democrats are destroying society and
all the time
woke culture is demoralizing the country. Meanwhile, security guards, armed police, federal police, mind you, not city police of Washington, D.C., because I'm from D.C., so there's a difference between Washington, D.C. police and Capitol Police.
Yes,
they
sir.
are federally backed.
Yep.
Them getting assaulted, beaten with flags, jumped on like it's WWE out there trying to yank their shields off.
Yep.
And Fox News is like, well, there's nothing to see because Trump's great speech to bring the party together has gone off without a hitch. And we'll get back and talk about how this is going to galvanize our country and have this vote overturned because Mike Pence is going to do his job. They were trying to kill Mike Pence.
Now, you know what really aggravates me? Like, they talk about corruption, about draining the swamp and blah, 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 yakety schmackety. You throw it back to...
Yakety schmackety.
Yakety schmackety. You throw it back to whatever the quote in the Bible is. The root, what is it? The love of money is the root of all evil. And so when you think about everything that they're doing it for the love of money. You know it's wrong. You know that it's inciting a riot. Literally inciting a riot. You know that people have lost their lives and all you think is, did my check clear? I'm doing something I am morally and socially opposed to, but hey, it's money. That's what's wrong with all of Fox News. It is.
it's really a sickness. And while we're talking about Fox News and hypocrisy and everything else, let's just take a look at some of the action that was going on between some of these folks as gathered by their tweets. So here's Rupert Murdoch. Maybe Sean and Laura went too far. And here's
Just
Laura
think.
Ingram. We're all officially working for an organization that hates us.
Girl, bye.
And then the North Koreans do a more nuanced show.
Jesus. Did you just break into coughing?
Yes, he did.
Well, I told y'all I'm still a little under the weather. I took some chamomile tea to kind of calm my throat down before we started the show, but that's wearing off. And the congestion and the postnasal drip and all that stuff is kind of messing with me right now. Oh, there you go. You pop back in. Oh, you sound a little scrambly. Okay, I'm gonna mute you for a second. So we're dealing with a circumstance in which you have an entertainment organization masquerading as a news organization,
Right.
and sharing their tremendously biased propaganda to an audience of willing sycophants, while the rest of us had to deal in the real world. And it's like what I posted on my page. You've got Tucker Carlson, who laughs maniacally, like a person who's been huffing paint when he gets caught in a lie. And just, the Democrats are lying. They're lying to you. They're telling you.
He sounds like the hyenas from Lion King.
Lion King,
exactly.
Right.
Say it again. Mufasa. No, Tucker, you are not a common man, Tucker. You went to Ivy League schools. You're a trust fund baby. You have nothing in common with the hoi polloi that you were pitching woo to. You do not have anything in common with them. You just don't. But
well, two things he has in common.
Okay.
He's white and male.
Okay. Fair. With a torturous haircut. And,
okay, so three things.
And a really squeaky voice. These are all things where Tucker has been spending, the last 20 years? And he didn't used to be this extreme, let's be clear. It was after the fall of Bill O'Reilly.
Right.
And Hannity had that brief window when Hannity thought he was going to be the guy. Mm-hmm. But Tucker was smart enough and telegenic enough and ambitious enough and sociopathic enough to do and say and be whatever he needed to be in order to be the top-rated star of the network. And so he embraced that role.
You think about the parable or the story, the fable is the word I'm looking for, of the frog that boiled in the pot because they turned the water up like a degree every few minutes. Didn't realize it was boiling until yes. So if you think about the people who watch, listen to Tucker Carlson, 10, 12 years ago, he was rational. He had better, and so if you don't notice the lean to the far right over time, because the same way, you don't notice that you're getting older in the mirror because you see yourself every day. People didn't realize that he went from just, right of middle to right off the deep end.
Absolutely.
And they followed him.
Even. Yeah, he's a piece of work. As they might have said, he
knows how to line his pockets, and that's all he cares about.
That's all he's doing. Exactly. And you know what? Just like Rush Limbaugh died sitting on a pile of money that he couldn't even hear ruffle because he was addicted to opiates and it destroyed his ears, and he had to get cochlear implants in order to even pretend like he could try to hear again. This man died on a pile of money that his fifth wife inherited. You can't take it with you, Rush. They weren't able to freeze your body and cure your illness and bring you back 20 years from now. You just dead, sitting on $500 million. And okay, but your legacy is gone. They aren't replaying Rush Limbaugh shows. There are no ditto heads. It's just done. Fox News has ended it. It's
They have
Joe
jumped the
Rogan
shark.
now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a wrap. Nobody knows who you are. And you have been consigned to the dustbins of history. Every newscaster on NBC, CBS, whatever, they would groom people to kind of take the place. So when Walter Cronkite passed, you had somebody sitting there to pick up the torch. You had
Right.
Tom Brokaw, and you had Stephen Donaldson or whatever, the Canadian dude. You had
Dan Rather at CBS.
you had Dan Rather at CBS, and and now you've got the people who have come up after. It's just that's what you do. You set it up so that you have something that can inherit and keep on the legacy. Rush didn't have that because Rush didn't want anybody but Rush.
Of course
And so
not.
you had all these people who ran to kind of fill that space. And of all people, Fear Factor won. I do not understand how Joe Rogan became that $100 million boy. I really don't.
Fear.
I'm glad you brought up Fear Factor and the rise of Fox as a network. Because remember, what was it, back in the late 80s, early 90s, Fox had a whole lot of black shows.
Oh yeah.
That got their start, and we put Fox on the map as a viable network versus NBC, ABC, CBS, etc. And like America, like the country, building on the backs of black people.
There it is.
And then to decide that you did all that shit yourself and to not only turn your back, but try to eradicate said people. That's the most American
Sam
thing
Donaldson,
I've
Peter
seen
Jennings,
in television.
there it is.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Vera. I knew I had some parts of
I
the
forgot all about Peter Jennings.
Yeah, Peter Jennings. He's the Canadian, I think. But it's the way of the world, except at Fox, where everybody is pretty much interchangeable. Gretchen Carlson left, they found another blonde.
Fox is the upside down.
Right.
That's what it is.
Megyn Kelly stepped in after Gretchen. Then Megyn Kelly eventually got the boot. And then you had the other little chick who replaced Gretchen on that Fox and Friends show. And now they've got another little blonde chick.
I'm sorry.
And that's the thing.
All
All
the women
blonde, all about the same height, same weight. Like they're interchangeable. Because
every single woman at Fox is interchangeable with another one. Because they all, except that one, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, token woman, we all know who she is.
Yeah.
Who stands out. But aside from her, because she wanted to raise an eyebrow when one of her co-hosts wanted to talk about her daughter drinking Kool-Aid and watermelon, and she raised an eyebrow real quick, like, yes, you are black chick. But yes, all the other women are basically just, let me Xerox this one and slap it in there. Put this one in the Xerox machine, another one comes out. Put this one in the machine,
it doesn't matter if it's a black and white machine because they all white, so
And I mean, Jean Pirro has basically a box wine IV at this point. Her and Maria Bartiromo.
Did you say a box wine IV?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
What, am I lying?
That was a sequence of words that came out of his mouth. Yes.
But am I lying?
I mean, you're not lying.
Okay.
You have a very creative turn of phrase. I'm just appreciating you right now.
Pinot Gris, bitches! So,
nurse, I need another liter of Moscato, please.
Be chilled. Arms feeling kind of toasty. Chill it out. What else is... You said we're going to talk about Chris and Will in the slap next week. What else is on your radar as you venture down to... you must be getting close, right? Because it was supposed to be 9:45. Is 9:45 still the ETA?
Yeah, we're about 10 miles away, so about 15 minutes, and now here where I'm supposed to be. Yeah,
all right.
So all good. We cleared the wreck. Luckily all the cops are still, so nobody's bothering me by having this dome light on in the car going down the street. But I probably should get off of here pretty soon. I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
All right. So what else is on your radar, James?
We are in this FBI van going down.
Wait, an FBI
Miami.
van?
I don't know if you can see how deep it. You can't really see how many people, but you see how far to the back it is. We got like a 15-passenger van.
Oh, okay.
And everybody got their own seat. It's more snacks than people in this van.
I heard
It's
that.
awesome. There's some box wine in the back. I don't know how many bottles of wine we've already had.
Except for the driver.
Yeah. We got lights behind us?
No.
Oh, we're in the city. We got light. We're out of the sundown town area. We got
Thank
real
God.
light. Okay, so we're good. Yeah. But one other thing that I do want to discuss, and this is a general thing, going back to the our entertainment side of it. You know, you mentioned Jonathan Majors having 3 major movies in a short span. I've heard that Luther with Idris Elba is doing really well on Netflix.
Fallen Sun. It's a little. The third act kind of falls apart. It goes some interesting places, but Andy Serkis is in it, and so I mean.
And then like what is it on Marvel? They're introducing a new like Native American superhero.
They are in the What If season 2.
I feel like, I mean, I know it's lucrative, so I know why they're doing it, but I'm appreciating the flood of melanin in various degrees across all media right now. Like, it's feeling like, you know, not necessarily our time, but definitely we on deck. And I'm liking it. And we're showing that it can be profitable, it can be popular, it can be mainstream, regardless of its big or small screen, radio, TV, music. Like, you look at the top, whatever, everywhere. We had a Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks and a black halftime. That's awesome.
I mean, 1 blackish quarterback, but sure.
Whoa.
Listen, I'm not one of those people who subscribes to that one-drop bullshit. It's for me, all race is a genetic lie. So acculturation matters a whole lot more. We just had my frat brother Colin Kaepernick talking this week on the publishing of his new book about how he knows his white parents love him, but it did not protect him from microaggressions and bullshit from that mama.
Did you see his Netflix show?
Oh yeah, in black and white.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in this book, he literally puts the words in his mama's mouth of what he's doing his hair in what? You're gonna look like a thug. That's what his adoptive mother told him, and he said that's one of the reasons he took the braids out and is doing the poofy afro now, because he's embracing his blackness. And he's a new father, which is great. I'm just saying that in the midst of everything that we are seeing, I wanted to jump in. Marvel actually has had a much longer track record with indigenous tribal representation on the superhero standpoint. When Dave Cockrum
as opposed to
introduced
DC and that damn Indian that they had that grew.
Okay, wait a minute. Now that was the Super Friends.
That was the Super Friends.
That was Super Friends.
That wasn't as opposed to DC. I'm still mad about that.
No. I'm saying
DC been fucking up for generations.
Right. So when Dave Cockrum introduced the new X-Men, he introduced a indigenous character. I mean, he died almost right away, but his younger brother became another character with basically the same power set. And also Echo, who was introduced in the Hawkeye show, is also a Native American and disabled person who is both deaf and has replacement limbs.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's live action. The new character that they're introducing, I believe, is brand new both to MCU comic continuity and the live thing. And so she's in What If Season 2. They have already, in their master slate, talked about What If Season 3. They're changing up everything that we thought about the layout of the movies. No X-Men announced, by the way. No Fantastic Four movie announced.
People need to be patient on the X-Men. They're coming.
Well, the animated series is coming, which is good. And we'll have some X-Menery in Deadpool, which is, I think, late 2024 at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is a good sign.
We're about to pass a police officer.
Uh-oh.
So now that I have laid the groundwork for y'all to have something final to talk about, I'm going to go before I get us pulled over in Florida.
Please don't get pulled over.
Don't get pulled over in Florida.
All right.
Okay, especially when you're rocking those very thuggish cornrow braids.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
Oh,
you ain't
God.
got to lie.
You pulled that right the fuck out of Friday. You go on ahead with that shit.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, y'all.
All right, James. So, what is on your mind as we close out the show?
Something troubling that came out of, you mentioned the Super Bowl and lost in all the pageantry and everything. And something I covered on one of my other shows early this week. Deion Sanders did an interview with Rich Eisen, former colleague at NFL Network. You already know where I'm going. If anybody hasn't seen it, just Google Deion Sanders recruitment. You'll see the videos that are posted on Twitter. And initially, when I read the article and saw the Twitter videos, I figured, all right, maybe this is out of context. I'll go to Rich Eisen's YouTube page and watch the whole 20-something odd minute interview.
All the context.
Nothing out of context. Deion Sanders actually did go up there, was like, this is how my recruitment process goes. When I'm looking for a quarterback, 2-parent household. 3.5, 4.0 GPA. Definitely want the father, kind of be a head coach. That helps a lot. Offensive lineman, definitely 2-parent household. Father is a very strong leadership type person. Defensive lineman, single mama. I need them to be hungry. They got to be on that free lunch. And that hurt.
Listen, you tell me, convince me that Jameis Winston had a 3.5.
Yeah.
Convince me of that lie.
I can't.
Deion is already, it's one thing when you're at Jackson State, and shout out to Chad Ochocinco, who has joined FAMU.
FAMU, yes, I did see that.
First of all, he's been auditioning for that for like 5 years. He has been riding the rattlesnake for the longest. Doing everything but coming down to campus and kissing Larry Robinson's feet. And so I guess somebody said, look at what Deion Sanders did for their program. And so you got Chad Ochocinco, who is now going to be a brand ambassador and everything else. And I think that's great. Give the man some shoes, give the man some orange and green, and let him do his thing. But now that Sanders made his bones and did what he did for Jackson State, now he's moving to this school. Does anybody really believe he's going to dominate the Pac-12?
Actually, he can dominate the Pac-12. Colorado has no place to go but up because they only won one game last year.
But that's my point. You think he's going to dominate this year?
This year, probably not. Next year, because USC and UCLA are leaving for the Big Ten.
Okay, well, that's
this
true.
Upcoming season is their last
one.
They're both true. And I'm trying to figure out how do basically the two cornerstones of your conference let them walk out. The Pac-12 was built around USC and UCLA, and you're letting them walk to the Big Ten with Michigan and Ohio State.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Look, so you're going to be in a diminished league.
Very much so. Because the rest of the schools, no other school there has really stepped up. They brought in Colorado, they brought in Utah, and Utah, to their credit, did win the championship this year because they beat the brakes off of USC twice and their Heisman Trophy winner. So I get that, but circling back to Deion is like, you said this in front of a person who, regardless of your friend or not, this is a white dude who you allow to laugh at something that is very demoralizing to us as a people. And now that he's laughing, others of his ilk will see this as being funny as well, or just the way of how things work. Because
but
not
also,
only is it
even he thinks that.
Right.
And he's not the first person to think that.
Right. And I got a problem because not only do you have Rich Eisen laughing at this, but remember a few months ago, and I'm not caping for Kyrie Irving in any way, the tirade he went on about how Kyrie can't say these things and post these things about Jewish people. Well, in the same token, you can't laugh at Deion saying these things about black people because that's basically what he was getting at.
Right.
And by his own standard of recruitment, Deion's own son, who's the quarterback, should be on the defensive line. Let's get that one out the way. His own son that he brought with him from Jackson State should not be playing quarterback by his recruitment standards. He should be a hungry defensive end.
Must be the money. Isn't it always me? Must be the money. Vera said bloop.
Bloop.
So a couple of people are four deaths in Mexico. I'm gonna jump on this real quick because the thing that stood out to me to this is First of all, it's the first time 4 Black people being killed in a foreign country was perceived as really offensive to people in the country. It was like the cartel literally turned over the people who kidnapped those people.
Wow.
Like, yeah, they were acting on their own. And it's been our core principle that you don't murder innocent people. Now, I don't know if these 4 people are the most innocentest. If any of what has come out about them is true, they weren't exactly just tourists. But at the same time, I'm not for any Americans or any person who is in Mexico being killed by cartel violence. And so it's horrible. It is interesting in the extreme to me that the cartel literally basically penned an open letter to America saying, yeah, these guys acted on their own. This was not authorized. They're fixing to tell you they did it on their own, and we write them off. Go on ahead and kill them if you need to.
Yeah, look,
that was stunning.
That's that mob justice. Like,
I mean,
we're criminals, but we got standards and limitations, and these folk ain't with us. Like, we got to correct this because we got an enterprise to run.
It's bad for business, bro.
It's, again, if you do anything to affect the bottom line, you got to go.
You got to go. They showed that in Ozark. Man, Ozark. I mean, I went to a wedding in Cancun last year, and of course that's different from a border town. I do know Mexican geography.
Mm-hmm.
Not near Jalisco or anything like that. I'm just saying Cancun's very lovely. We went to a beautiful all-inclusive resort. It was very nice. Beaches were trash, but it was very nice. Yeah. So I get it, but damn.
Yeah.
Just damn.
Right.
Ozark showed me a completely other side of the game. Like, and I didn't watch Narcos, but Ozark was plenty enough for me.
Yeah, I've heard things about Narcos.
Right, Narcos. I am looking forward to John Wick 4.
Absolutely.
I have been a fan of all of the John Wick films, although I have to say, like my good friend, I won't say good friend, like this actor I respect named Denzel Washington, Equalizer 2, bro. Don't tell me you're killing people on trains in Equalizer 2.
I have not seen Equalizer 2.
Listen.
I'm going to out myself and say that I am loving the Equalizer TV show starring Queen Latifah because I am a Queen Latifah junkie. And if she does anything, I will be there front and center with my eyes bugging out like, yes, more please of her.
I think the Equalizer show is fine. I do like it. I wish they'd just gone ahead and beef up the romance between her and old boy.
Oh, it's starting to take off.
Oh no, I know. It's in the 3rd season though. You've been hitting at it since episode 2. Well, I'm just saying. I know it's getting there, yeah. and now that Chris Noth is off the show,
there are crossroads coming.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the 3rd act of Equalizer 2, which takes place, I don't think it's Martha's Vineyard, but it's a Martha's Vineyard-like island in a hurricane. You got Denzel Washington like doing his loping run like this, and it kind of reminded me of looking at Keanu Reeves pushing 50 with them bow legs trying to act like he's still a pimp. And it's like, bro, they either need to record you in half speed and just speed it up to normal speed, or they need to figure out something different, CGI your ass or something, because you ain't moving like you were in John Wick 1, bro.
Nah, absolutely not. And I'm still surprised that we've come all this way over someone killing his dog and stealing his car. And I get it for what the 2 items symbolize, but we 4 movies in and we got to. The body count is what, 250 people?
Well, but see, that was just the premise. He was a badass motherfucker before the dog.
I get that.
Now everything else is just like he's had to kill too many people now,
right?
And I guess I'm not exactly sure what the complete premise is of 4, but supposedly he's kind of fighting to maybe get a seat at the table so people will stop trying to kill him.
Either a seat at the table or a way out from trying to be killed, because I mean,
he ain't gonna get out.
3, remember, the second half of 3 was pretty much, or no, I should say the second half of 2 into 3 was everyone coming after him because he killed somebody on hotel grounds, which is a no-no.
Right.
knowing that person was never going to leave the hotel.
Right. And now, at the end of 3, he was shot and pushed off a building, basically.
Shot, kind of beat up a little bit because he did get jumped by more people than he can handle, and pretty much somehow got dragged back to Lawrence Fishburne, who had previously been sliced up.
Yeah, exactly.
Earlier.
Listen, I don't care. I really don't. Nobody is asking for
Baba Yaga's going back out there to fill up body bags.
Okay, and first of all, Baba Yaga, just so we're clear, Baba Yaga is a Russian witch.
Yes.
That is not the boogeyman.
Yeah.
They probably meant Babadook.
Probably.
But Baba Yaga is a nasty old, like Hansel and Gretel type witch chick with nasty, droopy chesticles and fangs and claws and shit.
That's either way, it's a scary image.
It's a scary image, but when you Google Baba Yaga,
right,
and then see them refer to him as Baba Yaga, it kind of takes the wind out the sails. I'd just rather him be that badass dude who be shooting people and killing people with horse hooves and shit.
Hey,
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Like you said in the first movie, I once saw him kill a man with nothing but a number 2 pencil.
I don't need him to be Baba Nobody. He's pencil dude.
Right.
I'm good. The brothers had girlfriends. Vera, stop. We're trying to. It's 1 hour. We can officially close the show. So I will just say, next week we have. We will all be in place. If you were interested, Sharpies, in joining us, we've had great luck with our guest host James joining us again, which has indeed been a pleasure. And we are looking forward to your contributions as we head into a bit of a busy season for me. So with that said, I will just say, I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm James Herndon.
And this has been Steel Sharpens Steel. See you guys next week.